Oh, a nice hot fire on a cold, rainy night. It's awesome. Using all the cedar and the fat wood we found earlier. It's awesome. Just helping us out. So
yeah, the cedar is the ticket out here for sure. I mean, it's nice and dry inside and burns. You cannot find dry wood out here. And
yeah.
So the alder and the balsam fir we have to dry to be able to burn it in the fire. And in the meantime, that cedar keeps it going. If we didn't have that, we'd be out of luck. It's just, it's too wet, too shitty.
Cool. Well, guess what? We're doing another review on beer. It's Newcastle Brown Ale.
Yeah,
so
this is a shout out to one of my favorite beers of all time, Newcastle Brown. I love it. I think this started in 1927 or 29. I think it was 1929. It used to be brewed at the Newcastle on Tyne Brewery in England. Now it's made by the Heineken Group because everybody is owned by someone else now. But so brown ale is not a super common style. It still is in England and a couple other places in Europe. You see Flemish browns and some French browns and things like that. But a good old basic working man's English brown is not common at all here in the States anyway. Over there, it's a cheap beer, and you know, they're fairly abundant. You see them made by all sorts of people. Greens has a really good brown. One you can get over here though, that's also good is Samuel Smith's, not brown. Fantastic. There aren't very many micros making them. I think the best one that was ever made was Pyramid's Best Brown. Fantastic. Very American though. Very American yeast and hop strains. It didn't have that English kind of character to it like this guy does. I mean, you take a drink of this and you can tell that those are English malts and that's English yeast, and I think it has some Fuggles in it. At any rate, I don't know if you can tell color-wise or not. Can you see that? Does that show up?
Yes.
Kind of that. So in the bottle, which is clear, you can tell it has that real light mahogany, medium brown sort of color to it.
There we go.
So it's got a nice malty, caramely presence to it, real caramely finish. Very smooth beer. It's only 4.7 alcohol by volume, and that's the way brown ales are. They're kind of light and easier drinking. Some of them are even lighter than that as far as alcohol goes. And brown ales came into existence, so what would happen is you would make a stout, and you would take the first, let's say, 2/3 of the liquor that comes off after the sparge and the boil, and that would be, I'm sorry, after the sparge, and that would be your stout. That would be the higher gravity portion of it, you know, darker, right? And then you would run the rest of it into a different boil, and that would be your brown ale. So it was kind of the tails of a stout. So it would allow people to have two different beers out of one mash, basically. And the brown ale being lower in gravity, more water, I guess, per volume than a stout or, you know, other beers, was cheaper to produce, and obviously, you know, that translates into being cheaper to drink. Anyway, though, very easy drinking beer. God, I love the flavor. I love the finish of it. It's always been one of my favorites. So we decided to bring a couple out and just kind of spread the word about Newcastle. It's not like it's anything new, right? I mean, it's been around for decades. And I think it's been in distribution in the States since, oh, boy, since the early 90s for sure. I'm not sure if it was in distribution in the 80s or not. I mean, I could be wrong, and maybe it happened even earlier, but I don't think so. I think most of the importers got distribution into the States in like 1990 region. At any rate, super highly recommend it. Newcastle Brown, Nuki Brown as they call it. They have a couple others too. They have a blonde ale, it's a pale. And they also have one that's, I've only seen it once, but it was a seasonal werewolf blood beer, and it was a red ale. And I think it was like a Halloween kind of thing. They had a couple of different labels you could get. It was pretty cool. But anyway, cheers.
Yep. Delicious.
God, I love it.